Morning brew. Today we got the Finca La Hermosa. This the washed geisha. From Guatemala. It's supposed to be floral with notes of peach and honeydew. We're gonna see what it do. That was amazing. What I've been thinking about, I think about a lot. I used to do property management, and it kind of came about from, started when I had my cleaning business. I had a cleaning business back right around the time Nashi was born. And, Chris ended up getting a job out in Chicago with the real estate company. It's him and Corey have built out remodeling guru, and did remodeling on homes. So they found the CEO of the company had stumbled across their website and called Chris and wanted to hire him. So he ended up going to Chicago, taking a job. And then one day I asked him, I said, yo, you could get me on? He was like, yo, just give me a minute. I got you. I gotta take care of some things. And a few months later, he hit me like, yo, I got you. So I'm doing 15 grams, you know what I mean? Keeping it, I usually do 20, but this is a rare coffee, so I'm trying to make it last. And I really like to drink it when people come over, so don't want to use up too much until I have some people coming through. When they come through, we're gonna go ahead and drink it. So yeah, end up getting me out there. My boy Sean, he was like the ops man. He ran operations. So I get there. First of all, I'm supposed to leave like a week. I threw all my stuff in storage. I'm not supposed to leave in like a week. So Sean calls me. And he's like, yo, calls me on like a Thursday or Friday morning. He's like, hey, yo, can you start Monday? And I was supposed to start the following Monday. Mind you, I was living in, where was I living at that moment? I was living out in Briar Creek in Durham. So I loaded up the whip. You know what I mean? Now she was mad young, like 3, maybe 3. And he was like, I told him, I gotta leave tonight. I just remember, we went out to eat. I say it was at an Indian restaurant or a Japanese restaurant, Briar Creek Shopping Center. I can't remember. It was over there. Me and him and Aqua went out to eat. And remember he says, Dad, back in the day, Daddy, can you wait to leave until I fall asleep? So, do whatever ritual we used to have, read him a story, whatever, he falls asleep. Get on the road, right, like 10 o'clock that night, 11. Get to Chicago in the morning, you know what I mean? Get to Chicago, me, Chris, and Manny, we go out and, name of that neighborhood. We went to like an Asian fusion spot. It was fire. Get the name of the neighborhood. Might have been South Loop. I don't think it was South Loop though. It was close to South Loop. And I gotta remember the neighborhood now. But it was fire. And it was crazy because I remember when I get there, I'm like, yo, I got a storage. It ain't nothing but 3 miles away. So Chris like, bruh, this is not North Carolina. 3 miles away might be 30 minutes. I ain't know, you know what I mean? I grew up in North Carolina. I was in North Carolina up until that point, you know what I'm saying? Like as far as living. Outside of growing up in Okie as a kid, you know what I mean? So I'm like, 3 miles, that's nothing. 3 miles. You know, in the country, you 3 miles is shit. Make it 3 miles in 2 minutes. You know what I mean? No more than 5. You know, you're like, yo, bro, that might be 30 minutes. Yo, I ain't know. So I ended up getting one like 2 blocks up. So, you know, I go put all my shit in storage, chill, then we end up going out, getting food, getting drinks. Then Monday comes, and I'm working at the company. You know what I mean? And I started out in the call center. So I'm in the call center, and we just, you know, answering phone calls about tenants. And I remember Chris was like, yo, write everything down, collect all your data. So everybody else was, you know, they was, they would take the calls and just keep it moving. You know, I had a system. Every call, I was just logging mad information, mad data, every call. So I'm thinking, I'm gonna be working, you know, in the call center for a year, some change, maybe 2. I'm in the call center, you know, doing my thing. Next thing you know, I get a visit from the from Chris Milner, who was running, you know, he was running the whole property management situation. So he calls me in, interviews me for property management. Next thing you know, my boy Sean, you know what I mean, he hit me like, yo, we're gonna need you out there Monday. You know what I'm saying? Like, unexpectedly. So then, and I forgot the filter. So then, that's how my journey in property management started. You know, property management was a wild job, because mind you, I'm doing it in South Side Chicago. You know what I'm saying? The training. So, you know, the call center corporate was downtown on the South Street, you know, by the river, by the Rock and Roll McDonald's, in the real nice part of Chicago. So the property management, where they had the properties at, we talking about South Side, not like the nice part of South Side. So we were in, the training was in South Shore. The South Shore, that's where all the rappers is from. You know what I mean? They call it Terrortown. So, you know, a lot of people in the company carrying guns because of the areas we were in. You know, it was like the most dangerous areas of Chicago. And we was, it was a wild ride, man. Like, you would see the craziest stuff, like on a daily basis. And that was the most fun job I ever had, doing property management in Chicago. Every day was a new adventure. You know what I mean? Couldn't be soft, couldn't be no bitch working there, because the dudes that was soft, they ain't last long. You know what I'm saying? They'll get them up out of there quick. I'm about to bloom. You know what I mean? It's 15 grams. I'm gonna bloom with about 45 grams of water. But yeah, man, I learned so much in property management, man. I don't like, where to start is crazy, because for one, success in property management, key to success in property management is relationships. It's like a platform business. Like, you're gonna have relationships with your customers, which are the tenants, and then like your suppliers and your distributors, which would be like custodian, maintenance, you know what I mean, corporate. And but you master the relationship game, it's easy because everybody that you have a relationship with, they want to see you win, including the tenants. You know what I'm saying? If you got a good relationship with your tenants, they're gonna do what they can to pay that rent. Because for one, if you got that good relationship, their pride and their ego, they won't want to feel ashamed that they're not paying their rent. You got good relationships with them. If they don't pay their rent, it's really because they ain't got it. You know, it ain't a situation where they're just like bullshitting and trying to stretch it out or you know, coming up with bullshit. Because you got a relationship. Then on the other side of that, when it comes to custodian and maintenance, you know, when I would see certain dudes that was assholes to the maintenance or the custodian, whenever they needed shit done, they get that shit done when they wanted to. You know what I'm saying? I had good relationships with everybody. You know what I mean? So like, if I needed some shit done, that shit would get done before I expected. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, just be willing to understand how everything works. So like for me, coming from like the corporate office, the call center, I had perspectives that the other guys didn't have because I was the first one that did that type of progression, starting in the call center in corporate, then going to the field. So like, I had multiple ways to view situations, and I had relationships. You know what I mean? I had relationships in the corporate office. So like, if there was situations, if it got to them before it got to me, I would receive calls on my cell phone offline, like, yo, boom, 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 this going on. You might want to run over there and check that out. To where a lot of smoke never became fires because of my relationships. If I ever was to get a job again, it would be in property management because I really enjoyed it, man. I got 1,000 stories to tell. I did it in Chicago and Baltimore, and people think Chicago crazy because you hear about everything that's happening, but boy, when I tell you, Chicago ain't got shit on Baltimore, man. Baltimore, the wildest place. Could be the wildest place in America, low key. Baltimore's a wild place. Yeah, I know this one about to be good. My boy Gibbs seen the other video. He shot me a text like, yo, I ain't never seen nobody measure out an 8 ball of coffee. That shit had me bugging out. So yeah, just did the pour over of the Finca La Hermosa Geisha from Counterculture Coffee. Counterculture Coffee out of Durham, North Carolina. And this is from Acatenango, Guatemala. It's like a volcano. And about to see how this one tastes, because this one right here, the other two I had the wash and the honey, and those was fire. My Philippine cup. See how we living. See how we living. Did about 15 grams. See how we living. Like to get that first sip hot with the geisha. Like to get that first sip hot and see how it progresses as it cools. See how the flavors change. Yeah, that's clean. But this is clean, like this coffee is like an architect designed it. It's sleek and modern. Like and this coffee, it This definitely has, I just feel like it was designed, like this coffee is. I know is it cool, is the flavor profile. It's going to intensify. This is one of the smoothest. Now this could be my daily coffee right here. Yeah, we back at it. Creative drive. I'm about to go get on the road. And peace.